Hi there, my name's Crystal Bella. If you're new to my channel, then welcome. If you've been on my channel a while, then you're probably wondering, where have you been? If you're not new to this channel, you will have known that this year I've been made redundant twice, and it had a really huge effect on everything, and it's been very difficult. And it's really difficult to explain. I don't really like to talk about it out loud, but I feel like it will help me. So, very short recap, don't want to take up your time too much. At the very beginning of the year, New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, whatever, I had an email saying that I was being made redundant with immediate effect. And so that happened at the very beginning of the year, welcome to 2018, and then a couple of months ago, at the middle of summer, I was made redundant again. It was terrible because within that same week I also ended up in hospital, which I've been struggling a lot with this year, these past couple of months. I've had a lot of issues health-wise with my stomach. The NHS unfortunately failed me. They couldn't find what was wrong with me and they refused to look any further. Bearing in mind I'd been passing out from pain and I'd been in hospital a few times because of it. So I've now gone private, which is really expensive, but thankfully I have a very loving family who are happy to support me with that. So getting a little bit emotional right now. Only 2 seconds in. So yeah, it's been really difficult. I have been depressed for the majority of my life, for as long as I can remember, and when I was 18 I opted in to have counselling. I had it at university, but they could only offer a certain amount of sessions. Anyway, I've been waiting 6 years and they keep failing me. I keep being knocked off their list, put back on their list, being put in the wrong list, and then being put back at the end of the list again, and I'm currently still waiting on that. And that may be part of the issue why I'm having issues with my stomach. Mental health can have a huge impact on your body that people don't know. It can cause you physical harm, which it seems to be giving to me, which could possibly be why the NHS can't help me, but also they should be helping me. But either way, I'm going through this really awful diet at the minute where I can't eat anything, and it's having a huge effect on me mentally, physically. I've lost a lot of weight because I can't have hardly anything. I can't have gluten, wheat, soy, dairy, eggs, nuts, anything. Can't have processed meat. So I'm finding it really difficult to find food because food in shops pretty much contain all of that. If I want vegan options, I can't have vegan options because they mostly have soy in. There are a few options that have coconut, and that's fine. Most meat is processed, most meat has wheat in, most food has wheat in, even though it shouldn't, just to bulk out, and it's so stressful, and I'm having to just eat the same thing every day at the minute. Sorry for the angle change, my battery died. But yeah, this whole diet thing's been really difficult, and I only stopped that recently, but before we got to that part I was kind of in zombie mode. I was coming home every day and just wanting to go to bed, I just wanted to sleep, I didn't want to talk to anyone. That nearly cost me my relationship, because unfortunately, even though I was constantly saying this isn't to do with you, there's always going to be that voice at the back of their mind that says, but what if it is me? And I totally get that, and I don't hold anything against them for that, because just because I'm having mental health issues doesn't mean that's not having a reflect on that other significant person. And I think that's really important for everyone to understand is, mental health affects people in different ways, and just because you're having issues doesn't mean that other person isn't having a voice at the back of their head that's saying the same things that my head is saying, it's all you, it's all your fault, and things like that. We know it's not true, but that voice is so damn powerful, and you're not the only one hearing that voice. We all hear it, and it's a mean voice. I am on the brink of crying throughout this whole video, so if my voice sounds shaky, it's not just my dyspraxia, it's that as well. The other thing that I've been facing in terms of this channel is I feel incredibly underappreciated by the people who are supposedly meant to be supporting me, and the people that I'm supporting. I feel that unless I'm bragging constantly about all these amazing, wonderful things that I'm doing, nobody wants to pay attention and be thankful for that. I'm not asking people to shower me with praise and be like, oh my god, Crystal, what a wonderful thing it is you're doing. I just want people to acknowledge it. I have helped numerous people with their university studies, with doing interviews for them so that they can have all this information that they can share with other people. I have spoken at several events across the world this year without leaving this room, thank you Skype, and I have had more people not thank me than people who have thanked me. Out of 10, probably 3 people will come back to me and say, thank you so much for your help today, it's been a huge help. The amount of times I hang up on a Skype call after being in a conference filled with hundreds of professionals, the organisers never come back to me. I'll get people from the audience contact me and say thank you so much, it was so wonderful to hear you speak today, things like that. That makes me so happy. It reminds me that I have a reason to carry on doing what I do. And to have, organisers not do that is so unprofessional, but it also has a mental impact on me. It makes me think that what I do isn't worth it, it's not appreciated. I don't make money from this, I don't have sponsorship deals, I don't have things like that. That kind of motivation that other YouTubers have, I don't have that. The only motivation I get is when people say thank you. And I know that you guys are so appreciative of what I do. I will get messages from you guys saying, thank you and things like that, but it's when the big people don't even bother to say thank you or credit you in the stuff that they do, that's what really hurts and has an impact on me. And anyone who knows me personally knows that my self-esteem is terrible. I always have this voice at the back of my mind when I go to see friends. I often think that they're only inviting me here because they pity me and they feel bad for me, and people who interact with me at work, I think they're only nice to me for those same reasons. I know that that's probably most definitely not the case, but there's that voice at the back of my mind. And when you go to something that's really professional and you do something beyond what you're expected to do and people don't say thank you, that really hurts, and it's so unprofessional. And you have people like myself who have these issues and regardless still put ourselves out there, and that's the kind of thanks we get. That really hurts. And some people do really well, and their things get shared around and it's great, and they're thanked for the stuff that they do, and it's because that they get thanked and they're praised for what they do that they're able to carry on. I very rarely make videos anymore because I don't feel that what I do is being appreciated. I worry that I'm gonna make a video and people just gonna be like, oh great, she's made a video again, how boring. I don't know, it's difficult because I know that the work that I do gets seen far and wide, and some people don't understand English and they rely on the subtitles and to translate things, and so they can't respond. Or people who feel like myself that their voice probably isn't worthy, and so they may not want to leave a comment. I get that, I'm totally fine with that. I'm not saying everyone who looks at these videos has to leave a comment, but it does help me. It helps me feel stronger, and it helps me feel motivated to keep sharing with you. Like I said, you guys aren't the issue, you support me so much, and you give me reason to come back here every day and sit in front of my camera and make things. It's the other people who don't want to. I want to work with bigger companies, I want to work with magazines, I want to work with health professionals, but it kind of scares me when I'm not being appreciated for what I do. And people see it with brand deals all the time as well, if they're fortunate enough to get those, where they'll be told, that they'll be given all these wonderful things, but they're only going to give you exposure because that's going to help, obviously. That doesn't pay the bills. Just because you've appeared there and you've done something for them, that doesn't help you. It hasn't helped me unless you thank me and share that with people. They're not going to know. In one of the conferences that I did, they didn't even introduce me as a person, so nobody even knew who I was. And it's just like, I'm here in front of all these people, no one knows who I am, and the only reason I knew that is because I followed that company on Twitter, that kind of conference, and people were constantly asking, who is that person, who was she, you know, we really want to get in contact with her. And I left it a little while to see if they would respond, and they didn't. People are actively asking and they're still not helping that person. So even if they say we'll give you exposure for doing this, they still don't. Some people do, and you know, that's great, depending on the size of who you are. Just because you're a small person doesn't mean you deserve what the massive people do, because obviously, you know, your influence on them is different, and I get that, I 100% understand that. I don't think I deserve what bigger people deserve, because that just doesn't make sense. But it's just having that common courtesy to actually do something decent. If you're not going to pay them, at least let your audience know who they were. Yeah, so many feelings on this, but it's so frustrating because I really want to continue doing this, but I can't if I don't know if what I'm doing is worth anything. And it's really difficult. It's just so hard, and I don't want to keep repeating the same thing over and over again. So if you appreciate what I do, then please tell me in the comments below. I'm not expecting you to share this with everyone. This is a bit of a weird one to share with people, but if you're aware that other people are having the same experience as me, then, you know, use your voice. And if you think that companies are being unreasonable, then do that. I can't do that, because if it's a bad name on me, it means less people will want to work with me. Great. So I'd love to give you the names of all these companies, but that will be worse for me than not. Unfortunately, that's how it works. But just know that I want to continue doing this more than anything. I've been doing it for years, and it means a lot to me. You know, I've grown so much as a person being able to do this, and I appreciate it more than anything, and I appreciate you guys more than anything. But yeah, tell me in the comments below things that you would like to hear from me, topics and things like that as normal. And hopefully I will see you guys again soon. Bye bye.